Hello, beautiful souls. We're on to lesson 185 today, and we are at I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. This is what I've mentioned many times, that this course, I do feel, points us into the direction to realize that what we want is the peace of God. That we don't want these fantasies, we don't want these idols, we don't want these up and down roller coaster experiences where 1 week we're happy and 1 week we're frustrated. We want peace, and the only peace that there is the peace of God. So we're letting ourselves realize that what we want is the peace of God. And so today we are declaring that it is so. I don't want this world, I want heaven. I don't want ego, I want God. I don't want pain, I want freedom. Because this is natural for me as being God's child. So, I want the peace of God. Jesus reminds us, to say these words is nothing. But to mean these words is everything. If you could but mean them for just an instant, there would be no further sorrow possible for you in any form, in any place, or time. Heaven would be completely given back to full awareness. Memory of God entirely restored. The resurrection of all creation fully recognized. It's true. No one can mean these words and not be healed. He cannot play with dreams, nor think he is himself a dream. He cannot make a hell and think it real. He wants the peace of God, and it is given him. For that is all he wants, and that is all he will receive. Many have said these words, but few indeed have meant them. You have but to look upon the world you see around you to be sure how very few they are. The world would be completely changed should any two agree these words express the only thing they want. Two, says Tom. Two, baby, two.
Well,
any two. But I'm saying, perfect demonstration right here, right? The world would be completely changed should any two agree these words express the only thing they want. Our power is in joint decision. Our power is in joint agreement. And therefore, we can join together in the recognition that I want the peace of God. Two minds with one intent become so strong that what they will become the will of God. Oh my God. Two minds with one intent become so strong that what they will becomes the will of God. For minds can only join in truth. In dreams, no two can share the same intent. To each, the hero of the dream is different. The outcome wanted not the same for both. Loser and gainer merely shift about in changing patterns, as the ratio of gain to loss and loss to gain takes on a different aspect of another form. So Jesus is reminding us that we can only join in wanting the peace of God in truth. We can't join in dreams, because in dreams there's a different hero of the dream, which is typically the body. There's a different outcome wanted, there's a different intent within it, and so nothing can be shared within a dream. That's why we are waking out of the dreams to join in the peace of God, which is what we really want. And in joining with this thought that I want the peace of God, so do we bring the peace of God here through us. This is how we are the vessels of his will, of his peace, by an agreement that this is what we want. Yet compromise alone a dream can bring. Sometimes it takes the form of union, but only the form. The meaning must escape the dream, for compromising is the goal of dreaming. Minds cannot unite in dreams. They merely bargain. And what bargain can give them the peace of God? Illusions come to take his place. And what he means is lost to sleeping minds intent on compromise. Each is his gain, and to another's loss. So compromise literally that's just it. No compromising. We can't compromise by trying to bring God into our dream. We can't bring God into our dream. What we're doing is bringing our dream to God. Because then the dream fades away as nothing that it is, replaced by the awakening mind, which is the light of Christ, which is what we are. And so what we are realizing and what we are recognizing is that we no longer want to bargain. We no longer want to compromise. We no longer want to try and have both worlds. But that what we really want is the peace of God, which is heaven, which is our natural state of being anyways. So with this recognition, we no longer have to trick ourselves into thinking we want something else, that we want something different, that we have a different want than everybody else, because we all really want the same thing in truth. And so by us recognizing this and accepting this for ourselves, it is then that we can give this gift away. Exactly. Jesus is saying, to mean you want the peace of God is to renounce all dreams. For no one means these words who wants illusions, and who therefore seeks the means which bring illusions. He has looked on them and found them wanting. Now he seeks to go beyond them, recognizing that another dream would offer nothing more than all the others. Dreams are one to him, and he has learned their only difference is one of form, for one will bring the same despair and misery as do the rest. This is crucial here. Jesus is reminding us that all illusions are the same, that all dreams are the same, and that no longer do we want to shift from dream to dream, but we want to awaken out of the dream. And the dream takes many forms. We can have fantasies in many forms here in this world, different wants in this world, but they're all just a mask for the same thing. So we're realizing that there's nothing that this world has to offer, and there's nothing that this world we want, because what we want is a peace of God, and the peace of God is not in this world, but it's also not excluding this world. So we have to let ourselves rise into the beingness of God, the peace of God that is out of this world, in order to glimpse it and see it and experience it, in order to bring it back into the world. So this is what is happening here today. And this is so true indeed. The mind which means that all it wants is peace must join with other minds, for that is how peace is obtained. Baby laughing over there. The mind which means that all it wants is peace must join with other minds, for that is how peace is obtained, by the joint will of minds together. And when the wish for peace is genuine, the means for finding it is given in a form each mind which seeks for it in honesty can understand. Whatever form the lesson takes is planned for him in such a way that he cannot mistake it if his asking is sincere. And if he asks without sincerity, there is no form in which the lesson will meet with acceptance and be truly learned. How perfect. Our want for peace must be genuine, he's saying, or we will not recognize it. And the only way we ensure we recognize it is by coming together and joining with other minds, because together we become witness to the peace of God. And so Jesus is reminding us, let us today devote our practicing to recognize that we really mean the words we say. We really mean the words we say. We want the peace of God. This is no idle wish. These words do not request another dream be given us. They do not ask for compromise, nor try to make another bargain in the hope that there may yet be one which can succeed where all the rest have failed. To mean these words acknowledges illusions are in vain, requesting the eternal in the place of shifting dreams which seem to change in what they offer, but are one in nothingness. Today, devote your practice periods to careful searching of your mind to find the dreams you cherish still. This is very practical, and he's being very specific with us today. Search your mind for all the ways in which you still cherish dreams. What do you ask for in your heart? Forget the words you use in making your requests. Consider but what you believe will comfort you and bring you happiness. But be you not dismayed by lingering illusions, for their form is not what matters now. Let not some dreams be more acceptable, Let not some dreams be more acceptable, reserving shame and secrecy for others. They are one. So he's placing the greatest distinction that our mind has to make, that there's some dreams we want and some we don't. There's some things we want of this world, but there's some things we don't want of this world. Jesus is saying that they are all one. We no longer want to cloud ourselves with these dreams of darkness. We want to awaken from these dreams. And so, and being one question should be asked of all of them. Is this what I would have in place of heaven and the peace of God? This is the choice you make. Be not deceived that it is otherwise. No compromise is possible in this. You choose God's peace, or you have asked for dreams. And dreams will come as you requested them. Yet will God's peace come just as certainly, and to remain with you forever. It will not be gone with every twist and turning of the road, to reappear unrecognized in forms which shift and change with every step you take. Yes, so in all illusions, all dreams being one dream, so do we recognize that either we are choosing God's peace or we have asked for dreams. This is where there is no compromise. Either our master is the ego or our master is God. Okay? And so we are recognizing that what we want is to serve God. We want God to be our host, not the ego, which means we must choose what we really want. Is there really any dream? What is it specifically it says here? Is this what I would have in place of heaven and the peace of God? Is this dream really what I want? Because if this dream is really what I want, then that is taking the place of God. So we are questioning ourselves here. We are really wanting to know what we are asking for. You want the peace of God. And so do all who seem to seek for dreams. For them as well as yourself, you ask but this, when you make the request with deep sincerity. For thus you reach to what they really want, and join your own attempt with what they seek above all things, perhaps unknown to them, but sure to you. You have been weak at times, uncertain in your purpose, and unsure of what you wanted, where to look for it, and where to turn for help in the attempt. Help has been given you. And would you not avail yourself of it by sharing it? No one who truly seeks the peace of God can fail to find it. For he merely asks that he deceive himself no longer by denying to himself what is God's will. Who can remain unsatisfied who asks for what he has already? Who could be unanswered who requests an answer which is his to give? The peace of God is yours. The peace of God is yours. God has already given it to us. He has given it to us to give. So how can a gift that has already been given be denied? Thank you, Father, for your gifts to us. For you it was created, given you by its creator, and established as his own eternal gift. How can you fail when you but ask for what he wills for you? God wills this for us. The peace of God, he wills this for us. So how can you fail when you but ask for what he wills for you? And how could your request be limited to you alone? No gift of God can be unshared. It is this attribute that sets the gifts of God apart from every dream that ever seemed to take the place of truth. And it seems to take the place of truth, and it takes away all the dreams that seem to take away the place of truth, because the gift of God is shared. It is not for any one of us alone. It's not just for me. It's not just for Tom. It's not just for Jesus. It's not just for anybody else on the face of the planet. It's for each and every single one of us, because God created us equal to him. So this gift is given us. We just have to realize that we want it. And so, no one can lose, and everyone must gain whenever any gift of God has been requested and received by anyone. God gives but to unite. To take away is meaningless to him. And when it is as meaningless to you, you can be sure you share one will with him, and he with you. And you will also know you share one will with all of your brothers, whose intent is yours. It is this one intent we seek today, uniting our desires with the need of every heart, the call of every mind, the hope that lies beyond despair, the love attack would hide, the brotherhood that hate has sought to sever, but which still remains as God created it. With help like this beside us, can we fail today as we request the peace of God be given us? Wow, Jesus. So we have all of the help of all of the universe. How is it that we can fail today as we request the peace of God be given us? This is what we are doing. We are requesting that the peace of God be given us. I want the peace of God. I want nothing else. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. Yes, I do. Thank you, Father. Thank you, brother and sister souls. Have a beautiful day in your continued affirmation and application that I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. And so it is. I love you all. Bye.